Salutations, ladies and gentlemen. The time right now is 3:51 p.m. Saturday, 26th of July. And cool to be back on air with Good News Radio, cause you're listening to Spiritual Quotes. So once again, I have come back with Wind in the Willows. And now we're on Chapter 6, Mr. Todd. The rest of the winter passed very quietly. At last, spring came, and Rat and Mole began their usual busy life. On morning in early summer, Rat and Mole were having a late breakfast. They had been awake since 6 o'clock that morning. There was so much work. They were really hungry. The doorbell rang. "Who can that be?" said Rat. "Go and see, Mole. You finished your eggs, but I haven't." So Mole went to open the door, and Rat heard a cry of surprise. "Who is it, Mole?" "It's Badger," said Mole, as he and Badger came into the room. "Isn't it wonderful?" "How good to see you. Come and have breakfast." "Hello, Rat," Badger said quietly. "No, I won't have any breakfast, thank you, because the time has come." "What time?" "The time for us to change Todd." Badger answered. "I hear that he's still driving those silly cars, and one of the ducks has just told me that he's bought another new car." "Oh, Badger, yes," Rat said. "Yes, we must teach Todd a very valuable lesson today." "And we must start today," Badger went on. "Summer is here, and we must help our friend. I want you and Mole to come to Todd Hall with me." "Yes, of course," said Rat. "Let's go now." The three friends left at once. Once they reached the Todd Hall, they saw Todd's new car. It was big and red. Todd was coming down the steps of his house. He was wearing his driving clothes. "Good morning, everyone," he cried when he saw them. "Are you coming in my beautiful, Todd had seen Badger's face. Taken inside, Badger said to Rat and Mole. When the four animals were inside, Badger said, "Take those foolish driving clothes." So they all took his clothes. "I shan't," answered Todd rudely. "How dare you come here into my house and give me orders? Take off those driving clothes, Mole," Badger ordered. Todd still didn't know what was happening. He thought Rat and Mole, but at last his driving coat and hat were off. "Now, Todd," said Badger, "you know why we're here. You've behaved very badly. You wasted your money on foolish cars. The police are very angry with you, and you're a dangerous driver. You must stop driving from today onwards. I want to talk to you alone." And Badger took Mole and Todd into another room and closed the door. "Huh? Talking isn't enough," said Rat. "Talking won't change Todd. Todd will say anything, won't he, Mole?" Badger and Todd talked for a long time. After an hour, the door opened, and the two animals came out. Todd looked very unhappy. "Sit down here, Todd," said Badger, quite kindly. You'll be pleased to hear this, my friends. Todd is very sorry about his past, and He won't do it at all. At last, Todd said very rudely, No, I'm not sorry. I love cars, and driving is the most wonderful thing in the world. I shan't stop. What? Badger cried in very surprisedly. You know you are a bad animal, Todd. What did I tell you, Mole? Rat said quietly. Todd will say anything. Badger went on. If you don't listen to words, Todd, we must make you change. You have often asked us to come and stay in Todd Hall. Well, we're going to stay here. Mole, Rat, and me will take you to his bedroom. Then come back. We must make our plans. Todd was very, very angry. He fought hard, but at last Mole and Rat got him to his bedroom and locked the door. This is going to be very difficult, said Badger. When Mole and Rat came back, Todd is very angry. We must leave him alone for a while, they both said. And so like this, Todd stayed in his room at night, and all through the day, one of them was with him. It was either Mole or Rat. At first, Toad was very rude and difficult. He shouted and cried and threw things around the room, but soon and slowly he grew quieter. One morning, Rat went to Todd's room, and Todd was still in bed. The only thing he has said in the morning is, Leave me alone. Be careful, Ratty. Toad can be very clever. He isn't usually so quiet. I think he's planning something. I must go now and have some breakfast, said Badger as he left the room. Are you okay, Todd? Rat asked. Todd didn't answer at once. Then he said, Thank you for asking, dear Ratty, but I'm afraid I'm not very well. I'm sorry I've been so difficult, but I don't think I'll be here very long. Then your work will end. I feel very ill. What are you talking about, Todd? Said Rat. Get out of bed and let's play a game or something. Oh, Ratty, I don't think I can. I'll never play games again, Todd went on. His voice sounded smaller than before. I don't want to be difficult, but... He stopped for a minute and then went on. I need a doctor, Rat. Could you get him for me, please? Why do you want a doctor? Rat asked. I don't think you're very ill. But Rat was beginning to be afraid. He looked closely. But what happened next? Did Ratty ask some sort of doctor? Or did Todd decide to run away and this was his evil and mysterious plan? Until next time, let's go to a musical break. You're listening to Spiritual Quotes. So once again, we're with The Wind in the Willows. So, what happened next? We shall see. So Rat decided to bring a doctor, since Todd was very ill. Todd said, Then he said, Todd, if you're very ill, I'll get the doctor. Oh dear Ratty, Todd said, I'm afraid it might be too late. When he heard Todd's words, Rat knew he had to go at once. Perhaps poor Todd was dying. Don't say foolish things, he said quietly. I'll go and get the doctor at once. As soon as Rat left the room, Todd jumped out of bed. He wasn't ill. He was going to be free at last. He sang a little song as he dressed. Rat hadn't remembered to lock the door behind him, so Mole went quietly out of his room and left the house. No one saw him. At lunchtime, Rat had to tell Badger and Mole the story. They were not pleased. "I told you to be careful," Badger said angrily. "And now he has made a fool of us. What are we going to do? I think we should stay here for a few days. Todd may come back, but he may not," he added. By lunchtime, Todd was already 5 miles away from Todd Hall. He was free and happy. He thought he was very clever. I fooled them, he said to himself. "Poor Ratty, the others will be very angry, will they know?" Soon he reached a small town. "I'm hungry," he thought. "I must find a place where I can eat." Then he saw a place across the road. It was called the Black Horse Restaurant. He walked in and ordered some lunch. While he was eating, he heard a noise outside. He had heard that noise before. It was a motor car. People who owned the car came into the Black Horse Restaurant, and they sat down and ordered some food. By now, Todd has finished his meal. The noise of the car made him very excited. "I must go and look at it," he thought to himself. So he paid for his lunch and went outside. There was the car, beautiful and new. Todd looked at it for a very long time. How wonderful it was! "I wonder if it starts easily," he thought. The next minute he had opened the door. He was sitting in the front. He was so excited. But he don't know what he's doing. He started the car and drove off. "What a good life!" he cried happily. But his happiness didn't last. The police caught him about 20 miles away. The next day, Todd had to go before the judge. The judge was very angry with him. "Todd," he said, "you have been a very bad Todd for 3 reasons. Firstly, you stole a motor car. Secondly, you drove that car very dangerously. Thirdly, you were very rude to the police when they stopped you. You must go to prison for 20 years. Poor Todd, he looks so unhappy. 20 years is a very long time. But will he escape from his prison? Will the police catch him once again? What are the upcoming Todd's adventures? We'll see that after another musical break. Stay tuned with Spiritual Chords. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Spiritual Chords. And once again, as we finished Chapter 6, we are now here with Chapter 7, Todd's Adventures. When Todd arrived in the dark, cold prison, he threw himself on the floor. He cried and cried and cried. This is the end of Todd, the end of everything. He cried, "I've been very bad. I've been very foolish. My dear friends won't even remember me. I wish I'd listened to them. They were right and I was wrong." Then he began to cry hard. But life in prison wasn't so bad. The man who looked after the prison had a very beautiful daughter. He liked animals and felt very sorry for Todd. One day he said to Father, "Please let me talk to Todd. He seems so unhappy. And I'd like to take him some good food. He isn't eating enough and he looks quite ill." Her father said as he thought, and so the girl went to see Todd. "Good morning, Todd," she said. "I brought you some good food. Sit up and try to eat it." Todd didn't answer. He lay on the floor in silence, so the girl left the food and went away. The food filled the room with a good smell. Soon, Todd had to eat it, and he began to feel happier. Perhaps everything was not lost. When the girl came back That evening, Todd looked much better. This time he bought him some tea, some fresh bread, and a cake. While Todd ate, the girl sat and talked to him. "Tell me about Todd Hall. I've heard it's a very beautiful and lovely little hole." "Todd Hall," said Todd, "it has been the very most beautiful house in England. Although it is quite very old. Parts of it are more than 400 years old, but inside everything is new and wonderful." Todd laughed for the first time in weeks. The girl saw her and he was better. After that, the girl came to visit Todd 3 times every single day. Each time he bought him food and stayed to talk to him. And they had many long talks as they went on and on. Todd and the girl talked about their life. The girl felt very sorry for Todd. "You shouldn't be in prison. It was wrong to steal that car, but you're sorry now," she said. Then the girl had a very clever idea. The next time when she saw Todd, she said, "Todd, listen, I have an idea. I have an aunt who is a washerwoman. She does the washing for the prison. She takes the washing every Monday morning and brings them back on Friday. You told me that you're very rich and she's very poor. Perhaps you can give her some money. She will give you her clothes. Then you can leave the prison. Everyone thinks you're the washerwoman." "Well," Todd said slowly. He didn't like the idea of wearing a washerwoman's clothes, but he didn't like the idea of being in prison for 20 years either. So he quickly said, "You are a clever girl. That's a very good idea. Today is Thursday. Can I see your aunt when she comes tomorrow?" "Yes, of course," the girl answered. "I must go now, but I'll see you tomorrow." The next afternoon, the girl came into Todd's room with her aunt. Todd paid the washerwoman £20 and gave her some clothes. "You look just like my aunt," the girl laughed as the Todd put on the clothes. "No one will know that you're really Todd." Although Todd didn't like this idea at all, he knew he had to stay quiet. So Todd left the prison. A few people talked to him and said, "Good afternoon," but no one stopped him. At last he was out of prison. He was free again. He knew he had to get away from prison very quickly. But he didn't know the way home. Then he heard a train. "Aha!" he cried. "That's the answer." But when he put his hand where his money usually was, he couldn't find it. He had left his money in his other clothes. "Oh dear, what am I going to do?" Todd asked himself. He couldn't get on the train without money, so he began to cry. Just then the train arrived. The driver saw Todd crying. "Hello, washerwoman," he said. "What's the matter? You look very sad." "Oh dear," cried Todd. "I lost my money and I can't get on your train. I must get home tonight. If I don't, my children will have no food. I don't know what to do." "Well," the driver said kindly, "if you wash some clothes for me, I'll give you a ride in my train. I ought not to do this, but I feel very sorry for you. Come and get here beside me." Todd felt better at once and he jumped onto the train. The train left. Todd was on his way to home at last. After many miles, the driver suddenly said, "Something's wrong. We're the last train, but this evening I can see another train behind us. It's going very fast too. Oh no, thought Todd. The police are coming to catch me. The other train came nearer and nearer. I can see a lot of policemen, said the driver. I wonder what they're doing. Then Todd had to tell the driver. Help me, he cried. Dear driver, I'll tell you everything. I'm not a washerwoman. I haven't got any children. I'm Mr. Todd from the Todd Hole. I just ran away from prison. If those policemen catch me, I'll have to go back to prison for 20 years. But why are you in prison? He asked. Oh, I had done something very bad, said Todd. I took a car while its owners were having lunch. I didn't really steal it. I was going to give it back. And now I'm sorry about it. I'm telling you the truth. I really am. All right, said the driver. You have been a very bad Todd, but I can see that you're sorry about it. I won't give you to the police. I hate to see you so unhappy. But what are we going to do? Our train is very long and heavy. We can't go very fast, but the train is behind us. It's small and light. They can go very fast. He thought for a minute, and then went on. I know. Listen carefully, Todd. Soon we'll come to a long dark tunnel through a hill. On the other side of the tunnel there's a wood. I'll go very slowly there, so you can jump out. Well, that was a good idea, wasn't it? Said Todd. As they were going along. The police will be a tunnel. They won't see you when you jump. They'll think you're still on the train. The driver went on. Thank you, said Todd. Are you ready? The driver asked. You must jump when I say. Then they went through the tunnel very fast. Then the driver slowed the train and shouted, Jump! Todd jumped. He landed safely on the bank and ran quickly into the wood. 2 minutes later, he saw the second train go by. He laughed and laughed. But soon he stopped laughing. It was very cold and late. He didn't know where to go, and he was very, very hungry. He was also very frightened. The wood was so quiet and dark. I'll stay here in the morning, he said to himself. Then he found a hole under the tree and climbed into it. He lay down and decided to sleep. Well, this is one of Todd's adventures. But what are the upcoming adventures of Todd? We shall see them next Saturday. Thank you very much to listening to Spiritual Quotes. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll end our Good News Radio program segment. Stay tuned with us until 5 p.m.